obviously they have to be a legal size. So. Legal.
Just days before a sweeping new law came into effect, making it illegal to fish these Southern California waters, Roger Healy was in a hurry.
Whereabouts are we? Can you tell me?
We're off, they call it Montage now, but it used to be Treasure Island Point. It's the south boundary of what will be the future closed area of Laguna Beach.
Fishermen are enraged by the new laws which create a series of marine reserves. The reserves close off some 15% of the Southern California coastline from Point Conception to the U.S.-Mexico border to all fishing.
I stand to lose probably about 60 to 65% of the area I fish, and depending on the year, it's probably 75% of my income. Most of us got into lobster fishing because we saw a future in it. I mean, we saw the ability for a sustainable fishery that you could harvest until you wanted to retire and pass it on to somebody else. And unfortunately, doesn't look like that's the way it's going to be.
We're not happy. We're not happy about it at all. But would you be happy if somebody came along and told you that something you've been doing all of your life and been obeying the laws in place, that you can't do it anymore?
Mike Thompson runs Newport Landing Sport Fishing. He believes that the process used by the state to create the marine reserves was slanted to favor conservationists.
What the environmentalists wanted to take, they wanted to take it all. They wanted to leave us nothing.
Well, we think it's historic. We think it's, every cliche. We think this is a major step forward for marine conservation. It transforms marine management such that we have areas for the first time in the ocean that are set aside for the ecosystem, for the intrinsic value of fish, and for the people who want to experience those fish in their natural state and in their natural abundance.
Conservationists and some scientists say that these new laws place California at the forefront of a growing global trend towards much stricter marine conservation. They see the effort as the last hope to restore threatened marine ecosystems.
No other state has attempted this, nor has any state tried to set up as exhaustive and detailed a process. It's a national first, and we know that other states, other places around the world are watching.
Other states like Florida have created marine reserves as well, but what's unusual about the California approach is the size and the scope of the reserves. Even beachcombers will not be able to take home a souvenir shell.
It's a big change for California. Up until now, we've had about less than 1% of our coast was protected in any way, shape, or form. And this was going to really expand that, so we'll have ecosystem protection. It's something new, rather than fish size limits, seasons, things like that, our traditional stuff. It's a big change, and it should be a big boost to our marine life. It'll create areas where they can recover, and we can hopefully in a number of years see the types of populations we saw far in the past.
The reserves were mandated as part of the 1999 Marine Life Protection Act. Miles of coastline in northern and central California have already been set aside, but it took years for the various stakeholders in this densely populated part of the state to agree on what and where the reserves should be. In the end, many people felt that their voices were not heard, and they feel mistreated.
We're the bad people, I guess. We're the villains in this whole deal.
Now, business people like Mike Thompson, who represented fishermen in the negotiations, are beginning to feel the pinch.
For the half-day boat, the boat that fishes closest to home here, which is probably the biggest money maker, we lost about 30% of our area, which is the Laguna Beach area.
While some people question the effectiveness of marine reserves to restore fish populations, conservationists and scientists point to what has happened at the nearby Channel Islands, a once popular fishery that implemented a series of strict marine reserves in 2003.
The difference inside the reserve versus outside is so dramatic. If you're swimming underwater, it's pretty easy to see the difference, where you see larger fish, such as sheephead and kelp bass and ocean whitefish, and large lobsters. Immediately upon swimming outside the marine reserve, those fish are all of a sudden smaller and there's fewer of them.
I think the science is there. I believe that we use the most reliable science and the best available science possible.
In the decades following World War II, commercial and sport fishing exploded here, and several fish populations crashed. The state hopes that a decade or more of no fishing will restore these populations. They also hope that other lower impact activities will thrive.
Most divers are really looking forward to their favorite diving spots being protected.
In the meantime, businessmen like Mike Thompson, who depend on the ocean, are trying to find other ways to get by.
We still have all this equipment that we can't let it sit idle, so we got to find things to do with it. So we're getting more into whale watching and harbor cruises, burials at sea, just Christmas parade stuff, whatever it takes to make a buck. You got to do something. You can't just sit there and watch your business die.
This is Eric Olson reporting from Laguna Beach, California.